Oh, yeah, we got water. Oh, we got oil. There comes the lumps. Ooh, yeah, it's starting to splash now. Welcome back to the channel, folks. As you can see, nothing has progressed here. Everything is still pretty much as I left it in the last video. That's because in the last video I said I would work on the 41 Chrysler, and that's what we're going to do today. And I know we're long overdue on that project, but we did need to get this C10 running at least. Now I've also got to get it moving too, because it's tying up the shop, and we can't get any other projects in there until that thing is moving under its own power. So that's kind of the goal there. In the meantime, yeah, we got to get some progress on the 41 Chrysler. It's in the other shop here, and hopefully it's not too cold to work in here. Well, it's a little bit brisk here today, but let's throw the heater on and see if that helps. Anyways, it's time to get back on this beautiful machine. 1941 Chrysler Business Coupe. It is a flathead 6-cylinder, and we took the head off because there was some valve issues, and we straightened all that out, replaced one of the valves, freed everything up, and now it's ready to put the intake exhaust manifold back on. We got to first clean this up, get all these old gaskets off of here, and then we'll be able to put that exhaust manifold on over there and get this project going. As you can see, it's a little bit crusty, and these are the old gaskets. I don't think they're going to be any good. Well, I mean, I might have used them, but I'm missing two over here. So I did order another set, and hopefully they brought me the right ones. But I would have reused this if I had to, but since I'm missing some of them, that's not going to work. So we'll just get these old ones off, and just going to have to pull all this out. Don't want to forget that. Pull all that crap out, and then I'm going to have to scrape this and get a really nice clean surface. All right, I think we got it pretty clean. Let's have a look under here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I see we have a space here for a fuel pump. I'm gonna have to clean that off too. I think there was a fuel pump in the trunk or something. I recall seeing one somewhere. I'll have to dig that up, because we got to put that on. I don't know if it's going to work, but we got to fill that hole no matter what. So I'll get that cleaned up, and we'll get the gaskets organized for here. Actually, let's see if we have them. I know I did order some. All right, Hobo, stay out of the way. We're busy here, you know. You know what we're doing? We're finding the gaskets. Watch out, Hobo. Stay out of the way. Okay, well, anyways, we got the Hobo here. Stop stealing the show. We did order the gaskets, and they took a while to get here, but Hobo, come on. All right, that's good. Yeah, you're stealing the show, you know. All right, we've got the gaskets here. I haven't opened them up, Hobo. Hobo, you're in the way, huh? We've got the gaskets. All right. So let's open them up. Let's hope that it's, there we go. Oh, what else we got in here? Oh, the fan belt. I forgot about that. So we got the fan. Hobo. Hobo, you're in the way. All right, so we got the fan belt. That's cool. We needed that. And let's see if we have the right gaskets. Looks good. Good job, Hobo. Okay. That kind of looks like the old ones. Hobo. I'm busy. Can't you see I'm working? I know they love you, but hold on. All right. So there's the old one, and it's a perfect match. That makes me happy. Okay. So we got that, and there's 4 other ones. Hobo's going to investigate. So that's good. They look the same. Come on, Hobo. Can't you see I'm busy? I'm trying to work here. Anyways, we got the gaskets, so that's good. And let's just line them up and see if everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. All right. Come on, Hobo. Got to get down from there. Huh? I mean, it's nice that you come to visit, but this is, this is dangerous here. There's a knife here. Watch out. Oh, my goodness. Come on. Cut it out, will you? Move along. Move along, sir. We're busy. I know everybody wants to see you. Okay. Maybe a little bit. Huh? All right, come on down. Big old cat. Let's get this all cleaned up and ready for the gaskets. Oh my goodness, that cat. And we'll get that intake manifold installed and go from there. Well, we've got all the gasket surfaces nice and clean, including the fuel pump area. So now we'll slip the new gaskets on. Just like that. I think that's the orientation there. And then this one. And 2 more. Hold on. What we got here? Oh, the center's not punched out. There we go. Come on now. Cooperate. There we go. And one here, but we're missing the stud here, so we're going to have to put a bolt in there. And maybe that's what it was before, I don't know, but we'll situate that one when we get to it. Everything else looks good, so now we'll grab the manifold and drop that on and tighten it up. Ooh, this isn't light by any means. Cast iron. I think it goes where? Nope, down there. Yep, below the frame. And then it's got to line up perfectly with the studs. Oh, there we go. Now, I'm not sure exactly how this all goes because this manifold was not on the vehicle when I got it. So I'm just going to do my best because I didn't have the hardware either. So I'm going to put washers on some of it that looks like it should have it. I don't know if I'm going to get 2 on there or a lock washer. No, that's not going to go. So maybe 1 washer and a lock washer. Let's go with that. And then a washer here. Well, these 4 look to be the same situation. So they'll all get a washer, lock washer. And these end ones here are a little bit different again. We'll give them a washer. This is all guesswork. I really don't know, but we're going to do our best with it. Lock washer here on top of the flat washer. A lock washer here, but that's all it's going to take. It won't take a flat washer. There's still 2 more here. And that's just going to be a lock washer here. Lock washer here. It's tight. Okay. And then we still got that bolt on the end. And our gasket looks like it's lined up. Sort of. Let's give it a little shove. There. And the bolt on the end. Cooperate. Maybe I gotta lift the manifold. Yep. Okay. There it goes. Now, I might have to put some more washers on that, but I think we're doing okay. Did I miss any? No, I don't think so. So we'll put the nuts on. I'll have to double check that, but I think I've got them all covered here. So let me put all these nuts on, and then we'll tighten this up. Yeah, okay. Let me get all these nuts on here, and then we'll start tightening it down. Uh-oh. Well, there goes one. One down. Two down. One, two. Two more. And those bolts are laying on the ground. I think I dropped three. Yeah. You know how it goes, right? You drop them, and they're gone. There's one back there. One and two. I don't know where the other one went, but I think you only need two for now. Well, there's another piece of the puzzle put together. It's looking pretty good. I got it all snugged down. I don't want to overdo it. Those are pretty old threaded studs. We did put new bolts and, or I should say, new nuts and washers on there, so that does help. But once this engine gets heated up, we'll torque it down again. But I think that's pretty good for now. Next on the agenda is going to be the carburetor. We'll have to take that apart and start it soaking, because it's been sitting around a long time. It's got a bunch of dirt in it. It's a little bit of rust there, but we're going to clean that up and get that installed. In the meantime, I think we should do another compression test, because the first compression test on this engine was pretty sad. Some of them were 0. That's not good. So I think before we go too much further, we should give this another compression check and see where we're at. And I'd feel a lot better if we knew what the values were, if there was any hope of actually starting this engine. So let's give that a shot and see where we're at. There's one other thing I got to do before I forget, and that is change the engine oil, because that oil that's in there has probably been in there for 30 years, at least. Not to mention there's probably water in there. There's going to be dirt, sand maybe, and whatever else fell in there while I was working on it. We're going to deglaze the cylinders with this ball of chicken wire. Chicken wire, valve grindings, pieces of metal, who knows. But all I do know is that oil's got to come out of there, and then we'll top it up with some fresh oil. Then we'll do the carburetor. Well, we'll take the carburetor apart, let it soak, then we'll do a compression check with the fresh oil. I think that's a better idea. I don't want to pump any more of that old oil through the system. It's probably bad enough as it is. So let's get down there and do that. Get her cleaned off. Like that. And give her the old heave ho. Okay, well that didn't work at all. Nope. Wow. Come on. That's on there. That is on there. Okay, I think it cracked that time. Well, I think so. Yeah, it did. All right. Hopefully it fits in this bucket. That's a huge plug. It's supposed to be 6 quarts with a filter, so 5 for sure. Oh yeah, we got water. We got a lot of water. Wow. This is practically a fish tank. Oh, we got oil. All right. Wow, look at that. Hope it fits. That's gruesome. Really gruesome. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Oh, there comes the lumps. Oh, yeah, it's starting to splash now. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, there's the lumps. Look at that. That's almost grease. Better slow down because it's going to overflow the bucket. All right, it's slowing down, but that's, I think this is a 9 quarts bucket, something like that, or no, 9 liters. Yeah, it's going to fit, but just, that's gruesome. It's just blobbing out of there. Wow. Yeah, good thing. Look at how much water. There's more water than oil. Let's let that drain, and we'll get working on the carburetor because that's gonna take a while to drain all the sludge out. Wow. 30 years, no doubt about it. Well, let's let that oil drain out of the engine, and then we'll get this carburetor apart and see what we got to do there. Hopefully it's not too bad. It's got the whole thing here. We got the, I'm gonna guess that's supposed to be an oil bath, air cleaner. Looks dry as a bone. We got a bunch of crud in the bottom of there. So this has been sitting around for a while off the car, but hopefully it's not too bad inside. Get this filter off. I'm glad I got the filter. At least that's you know, that's probably going to be hard to find something like that. Oh yeah, it's got some crusties in there, so we'll fix that up. Let's see what we got here. Well, we do got some rust. That must be from the air cleaner. Yeah, but is it seized? Nope. Choke's not seized, and the throttle's not seized. So that's a good sign. But let's see if we can get it apart, get the top off anyways, and inspect the bowl and everything. But all the linkages there, it looks like. That must be a vacuum line there. And there's the fuel inlet. And this carburetor is made by Ball & Ball Carburetor, manufactured for Chrysler Corporation, Detroit, Michigan, USA. But can we get it apart? That's the question. Oh, that's one that's loose. Let's see if we can crack them all, and then we'll give them some lube. Yep, that's a good sign. And one here. Come on. Yep. All right, let's give it some lube before we go any further, because I don't want to break any screws off. Might as well do the linkage too. And all that. And while I'm at it, I'll give this air cleaner clamp the shot. I think that's seized. Hammer. There it is. Awesome. That looks okay. We're gonna need a new gasket, obviously. That's torn. All right. No loose parts there. I mean, it's crusty, but not bad. Hopefully the float's okay. Well, it's moving. We're gonna need a new gasket. We got it. Locked and loaded. This float has to come out still. It's a little bit corroded in there. That little steel shaft that holds the float is stuck. And I'm going to give some of these other screws a little chance to soak in. If I take this inlet out, I can get at it because it's actually part of that fuel inlet. So we'll see if that comes out that way. There's the needle and seat. Come on out. That looks okay. There is some sludge in there, but we'll clean that out. Stick that in there for now. Now the problem is getting that. Maybe I can get in there with this and poke out that little bar, or that. There it is. Come on out. There it is. So that little bar there was stuck in it. There's a slot where it fits in, but the float looks intact, so let's hope that's still good. Throw that in the bin. And what else can we get out of here? The main jet. If that is the main jet. I don't know what that is. Let's open it up and see. At least some of this stuff is brass, so it doesn't rust, that's for sure. Oh, great. Yeah, ball bearing. Those are the ones that always get you. Some kind of check ball, I guess. So yeah, I'll have to remember that. Throw that in the bin. Can't lose that. So we're looking in the bottom here. There's that little piece of steel. That's from that little band that holds the float in. I'll have to fix that. There's some rust in there. And it's a little crusty, but overall I think it's salvageable. Okay, we've got everything apart that we can for now. We're going to let all this soak. This is the accelerator pump, which I'm not sure what that material is made out of, but it's hard as a rock. So, but we're not going to soak that. We'll leave that alone. See if we can get this apart. Come on. It's got to come apart. There we go. Yeah, I better remember this for later. More pieces. On the spring. And there's our accelerator pump seal. I'm not sure what that is, if it's plastic or leather or what, but I'm not going to soak that. I don't want to destroy it. We'll just give that a bit of lube, because there's a spring in there. And yeah, not sure what that's made. It might be leather. You never know. Back in the old days, I think they used leather, or you could use leather if that's all you had. Anyways, we'll leave that out for now. Well, we've got all our parts in the bin here. As far as we can take them, we're going to let them soak. Got some carburetor cleaner here. That's going to be our preliminary soaking. We're going to have to get some more. We're going to probably fill this tub up and let it soak with some kind of carburetor cleaner. And then we'll try and just disassemble a few more pieces. But for now, I'd rather just let it soak, and then we'll go from there. So we'll leave that overnight to soak, and then we'll get some more cleaner. And up next, we're going to do a compression check, and that's going to be very interesting. Well, it's a glorious new day here in Festerton, and as you can see, the sun is shining. We're getting some solar heat in the shelter here, and we're probably pushing, oh, I'd say about 15 degrees. That's pretty darn good, considering, let's see, almost the end of November. Anyways, if you were here last night, you probably saw this tragedy of changing the oil, or water and oil, I should say. But that doesn't mean it's the end. We're going to have to just keep going with this deal, because we can't let just a little bit of water scare us away. So let's get that oil water mix up on the bench, and we're going to take a close look at it and see if we can see anything really serious other than a bit of water. Now, this is a 9.5 quart bucket, and it's almost full, so let's call it 9 quarts. Now, this engine typically, from what I understand, would be around 5 quarts, 4.5, 5 quarts without a filter, which it doesn't look like it has any kind of filter on it. So in reality, it's about half full of water, so that's, you know, we're going to say we got 4.5 quarts of oil in the motor. So really, that wasn't too far off. It's just a little too much water. But the oil part, yeah, it was about right on. So let's see if we can get this up. This is usually where it goes really bad for me, but if we're real careful, we might get away with it. Careful is my middle name. Oh, slow down. There we go. All right, let me bring you in for the shot. Well, it doesn't look good with all that water in there, but on a positive note, this gives us the ability to see if there's any chunks or heavy pieces of metal or bits and pieces that have fallen through the oil into the water. We can see that fairly clearly. There's some little chunks here in the front, and I see a little bit shadow in the back here, which that could be a piece of rag or something like that, because I did have the engine open and the valve covers off, so it could be anything. I'm not really going to be too concerned, I don't think. But the small particles, that could be worrying. So let's get this other, whatever that is, that rag or whatever, out of there, and then we'll take the oil out and we'll investigate this a little further. Oh, there it is. What the heck is that? Huh. Okay, let's move on to the compression check. Well, after draining all that water and oil out of this pan, it doesn't really look that bad. Like, I don't see any real chunks in here. Yeah, it's dirty, but I don't feel no grit. That's a good sign. Okay, let's keep going. Well, before we do a compression check, I better put some oil in this little girl. I have the newly reconditioned oil filler tube ready to go, so we'll slip that in and give it a little tap into position. That's how we do it. All right, let's dig up some oil. Well, we have a very nice selection of lubricants to put in this engine. They're not all the same, but there is a method to my madness, and all will become clear very soon. So we're going to start off with some, which is probably the most correct oil of all these oils. This is a Briggs & Stratton Straight SAE30. So we know that's probably what was in this vehicle from new, more than likely. But we're going to put this in first. And I think it's going to really enjoy this type of oil the most, because that's more period correct than anything I have. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Here's another one. Here we have another SAE30, a 4-cycle lawnmower oil, Motormaster, proven quality since 1933. So before this car was even born, this oil was intended to be used for this kind of vehicle. So that's fantastic. So we'll go with another little drink. Oh, this is vintage oil. Oh yeah, that looks very nice. Not too thin, you know, because an old engine like this, needs a bit of thickness to it to fill the gaps. So let that soak in there. Now this is a more modern oil. This is the Duron 15W40. This is going to give it some, you know, that stiffness, right? So let's put this in and see how that goes. I use this in the C20. It's actually very good oil. You could probably use this in a diesel motor. That's how good it is. It's so thick it doesn't even want to come out. Our next selection is SAE 5W30, which is a more modern oil again. I'd probably use that in my Chevy Cruze if I ever did check the oil. But yeah, there's not a lot in here. Maybe a quarter of a quart. So see how thick that stuff is? That's fantastic. This is the old Castrol GTX. And this is meant for these kind of engines, I'm sure, because this is going to clean it. So there's probably a detergent in here. And we have another Castrol GTX. This is a 10W30. So we've got a really good blend going here. I'm going to say that this is probably not a Chevy Cruze oil, but a 350 Chevy. The older 350 Chevys would probably enjoy this. So I'm sure this 1941 Chrysler is not going to complain after you saw what came out of the oil pan. So jam that in there. And last but not least, my tried and true transmission fluid. Now you were saying, well, old man, you can't put that in there. Well, I could, and I will. But I'm thinking that, you know, this motor, if it starts, we're not going to let it run for any more than 5 or 10 minutes. Let it come up to temperature, and we're going to dump all this oil out immediately because it's going to be so contaminated after what we saw was what was in the pan. So I think a little bit of this stuff here, just to clean stuff up, is going to be just about perfect. And I think we should do a dip soon and see where we're at, because I'm not really measuring this. That just looks like cranberry juice. It's probably just as good too. All right, let's do the dip. Let's see where we're at. We are right on the money. It's hard to see those marks, but trust me, we're right where we should be. Okay. Jam that back in there, let that drain out, and we're going to pull these spark plugs out and do a compression check. It's going to be awesome. All right, we got the die-hard gold for a gold motor. Why not? Let's throw this battery in and get that connected, and we'll do our compression check. Now, it's been a long time since we did the first one, and there were some pretty bad numbers. I believe there was a couple zeros and 40s and that kind of stuff, maybe an 80. 0. But let's hope we have a better result now. So this is a positive ground vehicle. So we're going to go positive ground, and our starter connected to the negative, as it should be. And we better get the plugs out, and we'll give it a good shot here. Now, I mean, I'm hoping that we're at least 80. I'll take 80, because I think I could get it to run on 80. Let me get rid of these keys. And if it doesn't get to 80, I don't know. It's going to be questionable whether or not this will ever run. So we'll get all these plugs out, hook up our tester, and we'll go from there. So we'll start at number 1. And I guess I'm going to have to hold the gauge like that. And you'll be able to see it before I see it. And we'll get our trusty screwdriver, short some wires out, and see what happens. Here we go. Oh, hold on. That's good. Get a grip, old man. I'm afraid to look. Ooh, 120. Now that's what we're talking about. I like that number. I've never seen a 120, I don't think, on this motor, but I'll check back on the numbers from the original compression test, but is it exactly one? Well, actually, it's a little bit better. I'm going to call it 122. We better write this stuff down. 122 for number 1. And then we'll compare with the first compression check. Okay, let's move on to number 2. That's very promising. Considering the oil we drained, well, the oil and water we drained out yesterday was horrifying. But I survived it. All right, number 2. Where's my screwdriver? There it is. We're at 0. Yep. Okay, here we go. Oh, that was half a crank, and we're almost. Well, it's about 100. Let's do it properly. Same reading, just over 120. Yeah, we're going to call that the same, 122. So that's number 2, 122. I love that number. All right, on to number 3 here. Oh, this is fantastic news. Like I say, I'll take 80. If that's my minimum. I'm not taking less than 80. As if I had a choice. But yeah, that's very promising. All right, here we go. We're at 0. That's good. I hope you guys can see that. Oh, we dropped a little. Just below 120. We'll be fair and call it 118. Still happy. 118. 118. 3 more to go. All right. 118, that's still pretty good for, I think, these kind of engines. I mean, they probably weren't high compression back in the day. You wouldn't think, because I think they would run them on just about any kind of fuel. All right, we're at 0. Yeah. All right, number 4. Ooh, that's our highest so far. We've got 120, 130. I'm gonna say 132. That's pretty darn good. 132. Let me mark that down. 132. That's 4. Let's head for number 5. This is better than I expected. Could be that Briggs & Stratton oil I put in earlier. Okay. We're at 0. Come on. What do we got? Oh, that's a good one. 120, 130, 135. 135. That is our best. 135. 135. That's very impressive. Okay, number 6. Come on, at least give me 100 and I'll be happy. Screwdriver. We're at 0. Yep. Here we go. Feels good. And it is good. We're going to call that 130. That's excellent. Yeah. Now we have hope. What did I say? 130? Yeah. 130. 130. So our lowest number is 118 for motor that's not warm. It's been sitting for, who knows, 30, 40, 50 years. And it's had a rough time in that span. So yeah, that's pretty good, I think. So now we've got great compression, in my mind anyways, and we've got the intake exhaust manifold in. We've got fresh oil. What we need now is fuel and spark. So we've got the carburetor soaking. So next we're going to have to get this distributor looked at, make sure the points are working. We're going to need, well, we're going to need some wiring because there's nothing hooked up except the starter right now. So we're going to need an ignition source, and that's pretty much it. It's fairly simple. Nothing else is connected to this car. The wiring is kind of all over the place, but it's disconnected. So yeah, let me look up those other numbers, and I'll try and post them on the video as a comparison. But we're on our way, I think, to getting this thing fired up. Who knows how well it's going to run, but it'll probably smoke. But that's okay. We'll take a little bit of smoke and some action. That's great. All right, thanks for watching, folks. I hope to catch you on the next one because it's going to get a lot better from here on, I think. All right, take care. I was able to find the numbers from our very first compression test, which is the bottom row numbers, which we had two big fat zeros there on number 1 and number 6. And we've made a huge improvement here. The lowest we have here is 118. And those are excellent numbers for an old motor like this. So yeah, the future looks bright. Oh, hello. What are you doing in there? Why didn't you tell me you were there? I could have locked up and you would have been locked in here. Goodness gracious, hobo. This is the way to act. You gonna stay here? What are you gonna do? Because I got work to do. So if you're just going to be clowning around, then yeah, you're going to have to hit the road. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. 1941 Chrysler. Goodness. Really? Will you quit it? Come on. Quit clowning around. We got work to do. No, don't bite it. It's an airline. Come on. Spartan up. All right. Let's get going.